The number of concussions in high school football has recently drawn widespread attention all across the country, including here on the Central Coast.
New rules and regulations are being created, all in an effort to protect players and potentially save lives. KCOY12's Dave Alley is live in Orchid with an in-depth look at what is being done. Dave.
Scott and Paula, concussions in high school football are reaching into the tens of thousands nationally, and those head injuries have the potential to inflict permanent and long-lasting damage. So there's been a growing movement all across the country, including here locally, to proactively address the issue.
It may be the most exciting play in football. A huge bone-crunching hit. A hit that can change the momentum of a game. While violent collisions may be fun for fans, for players, not so much.
Guy hit me from this side, hit my helmet against his right here, set my jaw this way, and I kind of felt it, and that just rattled my head.
Rigetti freshman Jaden Libertus suffered a concussion just 1 month ago.
I was scared when the doctor told me if you don't rest it, this part of your brain won't heal, and it'll be effective throughout your whole life.
One of the most dangerous aspects about concussions isn't just when a player receives one big hit, it's when they receive a series of smaller hits.
We know from boxing, we've known for many, many years, those types of impacts cause a very classic type of traumatic brain picture.
Head injuries in high school football total into the tens of thousands nationally each year. Research shows players average 600 hits to the head per season.
For young people, it's especially potentially troubling because the young people, of course, have a developing brain.
Even more troubling are multiple concussions and a condition called second impact syndrome.
If an athlete does get hit a second time, while there's not fully healed from the first concussion, that can result in death.
With the stakes so high, concussion awareness has never been greater.
Back when I played, coach said, you got your bell rung, suck it up and get back in there. Well, those days are over.
Now, high schools are taking a proactive approach, establishing aggressive concussion guidelines such as online impact testing.
In the beginning of this year, we have all our athletes are baseline tested so that in the event that they do have a head injury, we can compare their previous results to their post-injury results and see how well the brain is functioning afterwards.
It's a test Libertus took following his injury.
My scores were worse. They were worse than they were in the summer.
Once his concussion was diagnosed, Libertus was held out of action, but not on a set, predetermined amount of time.
It all depends on when an athlete is symptom-free. Once an athlete is symptom-free, then they go back to their physician and get cleared.
That follows official protocol established by the CIF Southern Section, which states a student athlete may not return to play until the athlete is evaluated by a licensed health provider and receives written clearance to return to play from that health care provider. Concussion training is mandatory by the state, not only for athletic trainers, but coaches as well. Local coaches have also changed practice routines after studies determined that's where 1/3 of head injuries happen.
3 years ago, head football coach Tom Goosen implemented a 2-contact practice per week policy.
It was a change Goosen made independently.
If you cut the amount of times an athlete gets hit during the week, you reduce the risk of concussions.
That move proved to be ahead of its time. Beginning January 1st next year, all schools in California will be limited to only 2 full contact practices per week. Governor Jerry Brown recently signed into law limiting contact practices to just 90 minutes and banning contact in the offseason. At Rigetti, head coach Ed Herman has instituted concussion prevention in the offseason.
We do neck strength and things like that. And then we also do a lot of tackling drills.
One of the newest ways to detect concussions is through technology to put sensors inside of helmets to relay impact information back to the coaching and training staff.
It says, hey, this number athlete has received a hit at this time, go check him out. And it also does a summative review for me. So if over a course of a week, he takes a lot of little hits and it breaks their threshold on the system, they'll still send me a signal to go check on the athlete.
Changes in policy and equipment can only do so much, however. Change especially needs to come from the players themselves, who oftentimes continue on while injured.
The message needs to be to the kids that if you're not feeling well after a player hit, it's okay. to sit back.
For Libertus, who returned after resting 2 weeks, he's changed the way he plays.
The head on the swivel, actually. Now I know, I got to look at my blind side before I commit too hard to tackle, because, you don't see it.
Seeing the damage concussions can inflict, there's hope improvements will continue to make football safer for players. Yet still exciting for fans.
Now, the new law that takes effect January 1st was fully supported by the California Interscholastic Federation. That's the governing body for all 1,400-plus high schools in the state. It includes public, private, and charter schools. It also includes teams at the middle school level as well. Reporting live in Orchid, Dave Alley, KCOY 12, Central Coast News.
Great report, Dave. Thank you.